Salve discipuli. Today is week 1, day 2 of Latin 1. Yesterday, we learned this thing called the imperfect tense. When you hear the word imperfect, you think flawed, mistaken, messed up, broken, something like that, just literally less than perfect. But don't think of it in terms of the English word imperfect. Think of it in terms of the Latin adjective imperfectus. Perfectus in Latin just means complete. The prefix im means not. So it doesn't really mean flawed. It means not done, not finished all the way through. We said, how do we render this in English? Well, conceptually, it means either incomplete or repeated action. Incomplete action would be like, all right, let's say you want to walk from one side of the street to the other. And while you're walking across the street, you get hit by a bus. You wouldn't say, I walked across the street when I got hit by a bus. You would say, I was walking across the street when I got hit by a bus. That would be incomplete action. You never made it to the other side of the street. You were interrupted. You could also say repeated action. You walk across the same street every day to get to Newsom High School. You say, I was walking across the street every day for 3 years. And then Corona 2020 hit. That would be repeated action in the past, and it can translate the same way. In Latin, it's really easy to spot. You always look for these letters BA. We said this is what we call a tense sign. But if you look through the words for today's assignment, every single one of them has a BA. Petebatis, agebamini, relinquebar, cogitabamus, servebat, intellegebas, dolebant, aestimabantur, liberabamur, and veniebam. I like that they put this last one at the end because that M ending is a first person singular. We said so far, most regular conjugated verbs, if it's first person singular, it ends with an O, not an M. But the Romans didn't like that AO vowel combination. It didn't form a diphthong. It was just kind of weird. It would be wenie bao. So they decided they would roll with the M instead. And it's a perfectly acceptable Latin word, weniebam. I asked in yesterday's class to name the figure from the last chapter whose name had the AO combination. And Alyssa in 5th period was the first to post. It was Laocoon. Congratulations to Alyssa, and good luck to the other 6 or 8 of you who posted a little bit later. Keep on plugging. You'll get it next time. All right, so the imperfect tense is the tense that indicates something wasn't complete. It was either repeated over and over again, or it was started and not finished in the past. We spot it by looking for the letters BA. How do you translate it, though? You always translate it with a was or a were, and then there's going to be some kind of verb with an ing. Sometimes it's going to be just whatever the stem of the verb means. Sometimes it's going to be the word being, and then whatever the verb form is. Look at number 1. Petebatis.
You're gonna die. We're all gonna die. You, a butterfly.
You get petebatis. Start with the ending. The word ends with tis. Go through your personal endings. om, st, mus, tis, ent. It's second person, and it's plural. So it's not just going to be you. It's going to be you all. It's imperfect. So you add a was or a were. Well, which one do you add? You don't get to pick. English determines for you. You wouldn't say you all was something. You would say you all were something. And then, what does the verb mean? Peto petere, petivi petitum, is to seek or to look for. By the way, if you don't know that, go to, like in the instructions here, it says Wiktionary.org. You can either type in petebatis and it'll figure it out, or you can type in peto if you can figure out what the first person singular is. All right, you all were seek. Well, that doesn't sound like good English. So what are we missing? There's always going to be an ing with that auxiliary verb was or were. So this would be you all were seek-ing. You all were seeking. We're going to do number 2 as well. As I said, however you can do this, if you want to print it out and write it, if you want to do it on a touchscreen device, if you want to basically export the PDF into a Word file and type over it, or if you just want to start a Word file from scratch, that's fine. Whatever works for you. Number 2 says, age bomini. Look at the personal ending first. O-M-S-T, mus, tis, ent. There's no mini there. So what do? Look at the passive personal endings. R, ris, ter, mer, mini, enter. So it's got to be second person, and it's got to be plural. So it's not just you, it's you all again. Obviously, I'm not going to put was. We learned our lesson from number 1 with that, so it's got to be were still. You all were. And then ago. Ago, agere, egi, octum is to do, spend, drive, make, speak, live, spend. So I have you all were do, and you might just think, all right, put in an ing. The only problem with this is, remember that mini ending is passive. It can't be you all were doing. That would be age batis. It's got to be passive. So it's not you all were doing. It's you all were being. And you could put done. Or that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Usually you do things, not people. So how about you all were being driven? Even you all were being spent doesn't make sense. You all were being spoken doesn't make sense. You all were being driven is probably the best definition you can come up with. Like I said with the intro, you're always going to have an ing. Sometimes it's going to be at the end of the verb, the whatever the stem means, like seek-ing. Sometimes it's going to be at the end of be, which is another auxiliary. Were is an auxiliary, and being is an auxiliary, and driven is the actual meaning of ago agere. It's to drive, among other things. Go through and do each one of these through number 10, and upload it to Edsby. Like I said, the format doesn't matter as long as it's legible. Thank you. See you later.